Okay, next step for working towards the 90-degree handstand push-up on a single bar. So far we've been through balancing on a single bar, so just how to hold the handstand with control. We've then worked up to a standard handstand push-up. And then in the last video, we went into deficit handstand push-ups. With the deficit, we ran into the issue with the hand position. I had to start to learn to balance with the thumbs hooked over or cupped over the bar instead of around the bar, which allowed me to go deeper, but took away some of the control and the balance. We're gonna have to use that same technique today because we're gonna try and go from like a bent arm planche position, so the bottom of the 90-degree handstand push-up, and see if we can get up to at least a shoulder stand and see if we can do some eccentrics coming from the handstand down to that. We might even try some concentrics as well, but we'll see how we go. The cool thing is all these progressions that I'm going to show that I'm working on for the bar version, we can use for the floor version or the P-bar version. So let's warm up with some crow to handstand. So using the seesaw to flick the head and shoulders down, flick the hips up and take us to handstand. And then from there, come back down again into that position. Now I'm going to try and warm that up on the bar. If you are new to that type of movement, get comfortable in this crow position, stepping on and off. Then we can start to take it up and down, so taking the head towards the floor, feet towards the floor, and then we can start to lift up a little bit like that, and then add it into your handstand practice, either lowering to it or going up. I've got lots of videos on that, but let's get warmed up on the bar. Okay, so that bottom position is actually feeling quite balanced. The top position still needs a little bit of warm up. I'm still getting used to having the thumb over the top. But let's start to make the bottom position a little bit harder now. So how do we do that? So we need to go to more like a tucked or froggy bent arm planche position instead of a crow. So the crow or frog position means that we've got a shelf to sit on. So we're sitting on the elbows with the knees. So in that position, if I can get one there like that. See, I'm on the elbow position. With the bent arm planche, we're going to start to sink the torso down between the arms. So with this one, I really need to turn the hands out even more to bring the arms into the side to keep a strong position. And if the hips are coming down behind, I need to take the head and shoulders forwards to counterbalance the hips. So to start with, I'm just going to play around a little bit with that position and see if I can hold it, make it feel like a strong position before I can push out of it. So it's going to look like this. So something like that. Obviously I can go deeper, so I can take the torso closer to the bar, but basically I'm moving between the elbows now instead of on top of them. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes playing around with that position, try and get comfortable there, try and work out where I need to have the hands, both into how much external rotation and what sort of distance I need to have between them. If you're newer to that position, the P-bars are going to be your friend with this because they already turn the hands out, so your hands are already in that position, which allows the elbows to come in really nicely, and you can control using strength forwards and backwards. Your wrists are going to be much happier, so if I'm this way and try and take the wrists forwards, it hurts the wrist. If I go this way, I'm happy to go forwards. So benefits of the P-bars are massive. So you can go into that bent arm planche position there, start to extend out. You could go all the way to straight body, but play around with shorter positions first, and also learn that TikTok, that seesaw position that we was playing with the crow. So as the shoulders come down, the hips and the feet come up and vice versa, because that's really going to help in terms of the balance aspect. Okay, that's actually starting to feel a little bit easier. I can get into more of a straight body position. So there, and then I can shift through. So your head and shoulders coming down, feet start to come up. Now obviously I'm going really slow. My cap was touching, so I need to make full use of the head coming down even lower. So I'm going to turn the hand around. But I think if I scoop up enough, push at the right time, then potentially I might be able to get up to some sort of handstand. But if we go as our first goal is trying to get to this position. So the shoulders stand, so there. So I'm going to try and get from that bent arm position, bent arm planche, through to shoulder stand. So it's more about balance there, but the actual transition feels okay. So I might add a little bit more speed, see if I can start to push up a little bit. Actually, before we do that, let's try an eccentric. So I'm going to try and go handstand, shoulder stand, bent arm planche. Okay, it's messy, but it's there. So handstand, shoulder stand, bent arm planche. I actually got back up to a sort of semi shoulder stand position as well. Okay, I'm going to spend 5-10 minutes just have a play with this now, see if I can get up from the bottom position into some sort of handstand. It might be tucky, might be froggy, it's definitely going to be messy. I'm having at the moment is that I'm pushing through and stopping, so I'm got all this good momentum to help me, and then I'm stopping and then trying to push up from a dead start. And because I'm not 100% comfortable on the bar, and also it's taking a bit of energy to come through, I just don't have the energy to push out. So I'm trying to do it as one movement, which will make it much easier.
So don't you tell me I am selfish just because I look out for myself. I've been happy, working hard, so I won't have...
Okay, it's now 2 days later. I didn't make it up from that garage setup with the very low position with the bar, so I've gone outside. I've now got this clearance to play with, so that should make it a little bit easier to scoop up. It's a little bit scarier because it's higher, but I've got the safety of the grass.
To cry when I'm older, I could have done this or that. I remember when I used to. Don't do it cause it doesn't work. I'd rather tell her, shoot your shots. I did it, so I know you got this. We're all living one manifest. You'll get your dreams, just do your best. So don't you tell me I am helpless just because I'm searching for myself. I've been happy, working hard, just so I can say I told you so.
Okay, let's count that one. So it wasn't the best in terms of the technique on the way back up, but I'm pretty happy with that with the concentric. So that's it for today's attempts of the concentric only up, and then next session will be about coming down and back up. If you'd like help with your training, check out my app and my website, links down in the description, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Thanks guys.
I told you so.